Hey there, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're exploring a premise that is absolutely mind-bending. We're looking at a theory that suggests a piece of sports equipment, specifically the official Adidas Trionda match ball used for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, actually holds the blueprint to understanding human consciousness. And not just that, but the future of artificial intelligence, too. I know, it sounds straight out of science fiction, right? But stick with me. By the end of this explainer, you're going to see exactly how the mechanics of this smart ball mirror the most complex machine in the known universe, your own brain.
Okay, so let's dive right into this. You're probably thinking, what on earth does a World Cup football have to do with the human mind? And honestly, it's a completely fair question. On the surface, they have absolutely nothing in common. But researchers V.B. Krishnan and S. Ramanathan propose a really fascinating analogy in their unified theory for a quantized mind. We're going to use the incredible tech packed inside the specific football as a bridge, an analogy bridge, if you will, to decode exactly how our brains process reality.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the Trionda ecosystem. Then, the quantized mind theory. Third, the frequencies of consciousness. Fourth, microtubules and biological timing. And finally, the blueprint for advanced AI. Let's get to it. Section 1. The Trionda ecosystem. Now, what's really interesting here is that the Trionda isn't just a ball with a basic sensor slapped inside of it. It is an entire AI-driven ecosystem. This ball captures data and beams it out wirelessly in real time, completely syncing up with a network of stadium cameras. Those cameras use computer vision AI to track player movements and body positions. Then, through this massive sensor fusion engine, it combines the ball's data, the camera tracking, and the match timing to create a hyper-accurate, real-time digital twin of the game. It creates this unmatched machine situational awareness, literally seeing and processing things way faster and way more accurately than any unaided human referee ever could. And at the very heart of this incredible system is this number, 500 hertz. There's a miniature inertial measurement unit, an IMU, inside the ball that continuously measures speed, acceleration, spin, and trajectory 500 times per second. It doesn't perceive time as a continuous, flowing stream. Instead, it captures reality in discrete, quantized packets of data. Every single kick, every tiny touch is time-stamped right down to the millisecond. Section 2. The Quantized Mind theory. Let's move on and see how this builds into the human brain. Both the ball and your brain create awareness by processing streams of information, right? The Trionda creates situational awareness for a football match, but it's totally rigid. It operates at a fixed 500 hertz sampling rate, and it's designed for one single, narrow task, officiating. Your brain, on the other hand, creates conscious awareness. It's incredibly dynamic. It's multisensory, integrating your vision, hearing, emotions, and memories into one unified, beautifully complex experience. But here's the kicker. The underlying principle of converting continuous physical events into discrete, processable data packets is exactly the same. According to Krishnan and Ramanathan, your consciousness doesn't just magically live in one specific region of your brain. It's not a single glowing spot. Instead, it emerges from distributed teamwork across the brain, which requires 4 key prerequisites. First, your brain has to be compartmentalized into specialized regions. Second, those regions have to integrate their information through vast internal neural networks. Third, all those neurons have to fire coherently and completely in sync. And fourth, mental processing must be quantized. It's a massive collective effort, very much like the ball's sensor fusion engine, combining camera feeds and impact data into one picture. And this brilliantly illustrates the core concept of temporal quantization. Think about watching a movie. A movie isn't actually moving, right? It's literally just 24 static pictures flashing in front of your eyes every single second. The authors propose that our conscious reality works the exact same way. Your brain is constantly taking rapid-fire snapshots of the world and seamlessly stitching them together to create this breathtaking illusion of a smooth, continuous experience. Section 3. Frequencies of consciousness. Now, unlike that football, which is stuck at exactly 500 hertz, our brain's sampling rate physically shifts depending on our state of alertness. And we see this manifest as brainwaves. When you're in a deep, dreamless sleep, completely unconscious, you're operating on really slow delta waves, just 0.5 to 4 hertz. As you wake up and relax, you shift up into alpha. When you're actively thinking, problem-solving, going about your day, you move into beta. And at the absolute peak, when you are intensely focused and your brain is rapidly binding all this sensory information together, you are operating in the gamma range, which goes all the way up to 100 hertz. So our personal reality is dynamically sampled across all these interacting frequency bands. Section 4. Microtubules and biological timing. So how does the brain keep all of that perfectly in sync?
The crucial point here revolves around the specific definition of microtubules. Now, in some quantum consciousness theories out there, microtubules are pitched as the actual direct source of consciousness. But the authors of this paper take a radically different stance. They propose that microtubules simply act as biological timing and synchronization mechanisms. Think of them like the referees on the football pitch constantly checking their watches. They make sure all the different neural populations in your brain stay perfectly in phase with each other. They aren't the game itself, they're just the vital timers that allow the game to be played coherently in the first place.
Let's actually ground this abstract biology into a very relatable human experience, going under anesthesia. When you're given anesthetic drugs at the hospital, those drugs bind directly to the microtubules inside your neurons. And because the drugs interfere with those microtubules, your biological timing and those microscopic vibrations are completely disrupted. Suddenly, your brain regions lose their synchronization. That vital neural coherence is just gone. Information can't be integrated anymore, and the result? You lose consciousness. The timers are broken, so your mind simply can't stitch those discrete frames of reality together.
Section 5. Blueprint for Advanced AI.
So what does this all mean for us? Well, the architecture of this quantized mind actually provides an incredible engineering blueprint. Current AI systems, even brilliant cutting-edge ones like the Trionda ball, rely on large-scale integration at just a single frequency. But to achieve true artificial general intelligence, or AGI, and eventually artificial superintelligence, large-scale data integration alone just isn't going to cut it. Future AI is going to have to replicate the biological brain. It'll need to develop mechanisms for synchronized, quantized, multi-frequency processing to fuse completely diverse data streams into a truly unified conscious awareness system. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought. We started out looking at a football that captures 500 frames of reality a second just to understand a match. And we've learned that our own brain does the exact same thing, just at shifting frequencies, to understand the entire universe. If biological consciousness is fundamentally just a synchronized rhythm of discrete data frames, how long until our machines learn to play the exact same multi-frequency tune? It is a fascinating question to ponder. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.